I'll see you again sometime.
Again sometime, we heard that before, Mary. Why did that with some fucking time? Mary, bang! Shane!
It was a stunning performance.
My Left Foot is a biographical film directed by Jim Sheridan, which tells the true story of Christy Brown, who was born with cerebral palsy and could only control his left foot. The film is a story of how Christy overcomes the barriers of his life by miraculously achieving the impossible. It is one of the great stories of human courage and determination.
Well, Christy, you've certainly got great variety in your paintings, both in the subjects that you have chosen and also in your style. Are you still at the experimental stage?
Yes.
So you still regard yourself as a pupil of art?
Yes.
Have you a teacher at the moment?
I have.
From the College of Art, is it?
College of Art.
Yes. Do you think you'll one day be a full-time professional artist?
I hope so.
Of course, you've already
That's my aim.
It's your aim. You've already had some exhibitions, haven't you?
I have two.
Yes.
Today, Christy lives quietly at his home in Dublin. Quietly, but not idly, for he leads a very full life. He divides his time between his paint box and his typewriter, between his two careers, that is, of artist and author. His paintings are full of colour and life, and no one looking at them would ever guess the circumstances under which they were painted. Some of them have still life subjects, simple everyday things like a bowl of fruit or a vase of flowers. But in others, he lets his fancy and imagination take flight, and he paints scenes and landscapes and events that he himself has only seen in his mind's eye. For him, his paintbrush is a means of escape, a means of self-expression, an outlet through which flows all his love of life and movement and activity.
Prior to this film, I didn't know who Christy Brown was. Neither do I think I ever heard of him. This film helped me learn about the life of the artist and writer Christy Brown. But what I was strongly taken by was the performance of Daniel Day-Lewis as Christy Brown. To me, this performance will always be the best performance in film history. Some might argue that it is his performance in There Will Be Blood that deserves this mantle.
I see the worst in people, Henry. I don't need to look past seeing them to get all right. Built up my hatreds over the years, little by little.
But to me, My Left Foot holds the first place. Before this film, I have similarly been awestruck by performances like Al Pacino in Dog Day Afternoon.
Erica! 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 Erica!
Peter Sellers in Doctor Strangelove.
Would not be difficult, mein Führer. Nuclear reactors could... I'm sorry, Mr. President. Nuclear reactors could provide power almost indefinitely.
And Robert De Niro in Raging Bull. But this performance will always hold dear to me. I saw this performance at a point when I was in drama school, and we were given an assignment to write about the favorite performance we, the students, have seen, and why do we think it is the best. Daniel Day-Lewis has always been speculated for the various methods he has employed to get into his characters. The words method acting has been somewhat synonymous with Day-Lewis's name, but as Day-Lewis, who always puts it as
so clear to me that if I and most of my colleagues really do the same thing in different ways maybe, but we go to these great lengths to try and create a world for ourselves. And within that world, we try and create an understanding of the lives that we're expressing in that world. And for me, that's where the pleasure of the work is. So what would seem crazier to me is to jump in and out of that world, or in and out of the experience of that character, because that's really where I want to be. I guess finally there is some kind of mystery, because it either works or it doesn't work, and you've no idea what makes the difference, but it's just the joy of that work, really.
But in My Left Foot, his performance feels more like a responsibility of an artist immersing into the life of a character, rather than just a pretend play an actor does. This performance of his felt as if I was watching a man tormented by the state he is in now, and the journey he goes to get himself out of it. As if I was watching this life through my own window. It was as real as that. I know it sounds very cliched to hear this, but there is no other way to put it into words. This performance will always be etched in my mind and will forever remind me the responsibility an artist has to take on the life of a character. Thank you for watching this video. If you like watching, consider subscribing to the channel for more essays on movies and of course, Daniel Day-Lewis.